on with Paul Lynde and Rosemary on Hollywood Squares.
That was a show that still, I
Oh
mean,
God, I loved that show. We were allowed to do our own jokes, and it was hysterical.
well, and that was one of the questions that always got asked was how much of it was scripted and how much of it was ad lib because
Well,
it,
we were able to ad lib. The only one they wrote jokes for were the guys on the daytime soap operas. They'd come on.
oh, okay,
They'd
gotcha.
write them a joke to do right before they asked them the question.
Oh
The
man,
question was legit, so it was a legit show. When they asked you something, you either had to say that you knew what it was or you didn't know. And me and Paul Lynde and Weaver, we wrote our own jokes. I loved it. I loved that show. And as far as the Ed Sullivan, somebody said, "How many Ed Sullivan shows did you do?" I said, "I did more than Ed Sullivan." And then Steve and I were on with the Beatles. When the Beatles arrived in America, we were on that show, 1964.
yeah,
One of the funniest things was that the Beatles didn't know who we were. And I walked over to John Lennon. It's a very famous story. And he sees me, the guy with the wild hair. He don't know who I
right,
am or what
right.
I do. And he was getting ready to go on. I said, "John?" He said, "Yes." I said, "A lot of people mistake me for you." And he looked at me like, "Oh my God." Steve and I had a great. We toured with all the big name singers. We worked. I worked with Nat King Cole. I worked with Sarah Vaughan. I worked with Patti Page. I worked with Shirley Bassey. And then when Steve and I split amicably because they wanted me to do more movies and TV series, and we parted very friendly. I think we were the only ones that ever did that.
Yeah, and it was
Now
sad.
I got lucky because my wife is a fantastic singer and a great straight lady, Karen Blackwell. Unbelievable. She sings like you can't believe, plays the piano like it's unheard of. And then she's a great straight lady, and we've been very fortunate. And we've been traveling and doing shows.
Yeah, the Texan Theater is a great venue for you. It's going to be a lot of fun, and the folks are going to enjoy it.
Oh
It's
yeah, we're looking forward to it. And
you're you mentioned it, but you have literally, I think, met everybody who has ever been in Hollywood.
yeah,
And-
instead of putting my hands in cement, they ought to put my whole body there. The
and
payoff is how it all actually started. See, I'm from Pittsburgh, and I was a local comic, and the agent said to me, "I just booked you with a girl singer," I worked. I said, "Yeah, who is it?" He said, "Sarah Vaughan." I almost fainted.
wow,
Sarah Vaughan. Oh my God! And we worked together, and she took a liking to me. She made the phone call, and it was to Nat King Cole. And in those days, singers always used comedians to open the act for them.
right.
The show, they'd say do 25 minutes and get off. And that's what we do. And Nat and I became very close friends, and he was the one that brought. Steve was a production singer in Las Vegas,
Oh, okay.
and he told him he was tired of doing production, and Steve suggested he get together with me, and we form a comedy team, and that's how it started. And Nat was unbelievable. Of course, I worked with, like I say, I worked with Lena Horne, I worked with Sinatra, I worked with all of them, all the singers. And, I did my 25 minutes and then got off. And it was something, I'll tell you. all part of my past. And then I became friendly with just about everybody. Elvis was a very close and dear friend, and we had a lot of laughs together. One of the funniest things was that I walked into the Hilton where he was drawing about 1,000 kids every day. You know, he was the biggest hit in Vegas, and there was a poster of him in the lobby, and I saw his two guys that worked for him as protectors, you know, and they saw me, and they didn't know I saw them, and I walked over to his poster, and I started kissing the poster, and they grabbed me, handcuffed me, and brought me in the dressing room. And Elvis says, "What'd he do?" He says, "We caught this pervert kissing your picture." And what should we do with him? And Elvis says, "Handcuff him to the door." I thought they were kidding. So they handcuffed me to the door, and I knew he was going out to do a show, and he'd be out there for 2.5 hours. And I started hollering, and one of the guards backstage came and saw me, and he says, "Marty Allen, what are you doing?" I says, "They played a joke on me, and they handcuffed me, and they forgot to release me." And he got a key, and he took the handcuffs off me, and I saw on the bed were all those scars that Elvis took out on the show. I put one over my head like a babushka, and I ran all the way around. I ran to ringside where the girls were all, you know, he was singing "Love Me Tender, Love Me Sweet," and he looks down, he sees me with the babushka on my head, and I look up and I go, "I love you, I love you." Well, he almost collapsed. And we became very close friends.
At one point, did you tell him to stop stealing your act?
I said, "I love you up to a point." But I said, as soon as I take this scarf off, forget it. But, you know, and it's all. Then I wrote the book. I have the book out called Hello There.
Right.
And everything's in it about all my friends. My closest friend was Ernie Borgnine.
Wow.
He and I were extremely close.
Wow.
And you know, all that is in the book, and all the working different shows. And we played. Karen and I played up in Mill Valley. Mitch, you know where Mill Valley?
I sure do, absolutely.
Above San Francisco.
Right.
And it's a theater. And after the show, the woman who runs it said, there are two guys here who saw your show, and they'd like to meet you. So I said, and I'm very friendly and open. I said, "Okay, bring them in." You know who it was?
Ah.
Robin Williams and Mort Saul.
Oh, my God.
That's what I said. Oh, my God. I couldn't believe it. And they told me how much they enjoyed the show. And I said, "Oh, my God." Robin Williams told me how much he loved our show. And Mort Saul, I didn't even know was still. In fact, he's 87 years old.
Wow, a kid.
Yeah. And I remember, you know, when he started, he was the first one to walk out with the newspaper and did the
yes, exactly.
topical humor.
Absolutely right.
And we've been friendly every time we go back to Mill Valley. He comes to see me.
What keeps you going? I mean, you're going to be 94. You could take it easy.
I'm going to be 94 in March.
Right. You could take it easy. You could just sit back, but you keep going. You obviously love what you do.
Mitch, I love entertaining. I love making people laugh, and I enjoy. And I guess that's what keeps me healthy. I love doing it. I love coming up with new jokes, and I just enjoy it, and we enjoy entertaining, and the show is great, and we do. Karen sings and plays the piano, and then I do topical humor, and then we talk about some. We show slides of some of the famous people, and I tell stories about them. In fact, I tell the different things that happen, and then we do another couple routines, and we just enjoy it.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Marty, thank you for the time. The Texan Theater
Well,
on
thank
January
you.
30th.
I appreciate the fact that you took time to hear me out.
Well, it has been my pleasure to be able to say to you, hello there.
Yeah, hello there.